In fact, no, we'll start with Chelsea. I think we should start with Chelsea, actually, because £50 million they are ready to pay for Cucurella. What are we saying?
Does it make sense? I mean, it's a great signing. He's a great player. I think he will improve their team, but they've already got a £50 million left back that they bought from Leicester. Bringing in another one, it would make sense. It just don't make sense to me, really. I can see from the Chelsea side of things they want to have a strong squad, but having two fullbacks that should be starting, I'm not too sure whether that's good way to spend their money, especially when they got some outlying problems, such as in centre back. They're going for Fofana, and yes, it looks like they got the funds to spend on it, but spending 50 million when they can put that elsewhere towards another centre back, towards a striker, or in a position that they need more, it don't make sense to me.
No, but even with for me, it does make sense because even Chilwell's injury record, not even just last season, even at Leicester, he's quite injury prone. He doesn't have the best injury record. So, for me, Cucurella is the better left back as well. I think he's more technically sound. I think he's more creative. I actually think he's more defensively sound also as well. So I think maybe 50 million is a bit too much, but I think it's smart business by Chelsea.
I'm confused. I've been sitting here listening all summer of people saying about us going after De Jong and all these players that don't want to play for United. Cucurella wants to go to City. I don't see a world where he ends up anywhere else. Like, I mean, sure, I think they could agree a fee. I think that could happen. But like we've been seeing with all these Chelsea dealings where they come in, truly, I believe once they put the money up and City's like, all right, we might actually lose him, they'll be like, cool, we'll pay it. Because they have it. They're just trying not to pay that much. That's what's happening. They just don't want to pay that much. So the moment somebody else comes in and says, we'll pay that, I think City will come in and be like, well, all right, cool, we'll pay it too. And he's going to go to City. Like, that's where he wants to go. And City has the money and the pulling power. So I think Chelsea's going to get disappointed again if this is true.
I don't know. I feel like this will be the one that they get done. You know, out of all the hijacks, this is going to be the one that goes through because Manchester City are not stupid. They're not going to come back in, I don't think. And the only thing I can think of now at this point is that Cucurella has said, like, okay, I'm willing to go to Chelsea. We'll do personal terms and all that, and may wait a little bit longer to see if Manchester City comes in with something else. But I think Manchester City are like, forget it. They're not stupid enough to pay 50 million. I love Cucurella. He's not worth that much. But in terms of Chelsea, like, do they need this player? Yeah, they do. One of their biggest issues last season was the wingbacks and not having the same quality. Like, once you had Alonso and Azpilicueta in there, the levels dropped. And we all know top six clubs, that drop off from your number one to your number two, if it's really bad, it can cost you a lot. So I do think they need that. Now, do they have other parts of their squad that need to get addressed? Yeah, the offense is still not probably where it needs to be. They need a midfielder probably, so spending a lot of their money in the back line, I get it, but there's still gaping holes in the squad. But, they got to do what they got to do. They got to get at least one of these hijacks over the line. And I think this might be the one.
Yeah.
Is that Lincoln down there? Is that Lincoln?
Daniel, true. We said on stream last night. Actually, I couldn't believe it. Is that Lincoln? Is that Daniel?
Who said it on stream? Jess.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Anyway, I'm not gonna buy it in it. So that's fine. It's actually great that the panel split. I think that goes to show like what is happening right now at Chelsea. Everyone has their opinions on how Chelsea should do this and how Chelsea should do that. And really and truly, look, I'm in the camp of we were never going to address all the problems or issues with the squad that we had in the previous season. And you can only take it one step at a time. We've got new owners, and for all the maybe mistakes you want to call them in terms of the subtlety of their business and how things are so open. Look, one thing that we can say, and no one can dispute that, is that they are trying. They're there to put their money where their mouth is. They're trying to make moves. They want to improve. They want to back Tuchel. They're doing the right things from an intent point of view. And I think that is the first step. I'm more than happy to be patient, to give them time to learn how the transfer market works in football. This is a new sport for them. This is a new territory for them. And Cam will probably know more than anyone else from the guys that watch baseball, and they talk about the LA Dodgers and how they're very, very active there. Like they've shown that same activity, that same intent there. So from the Bowley's perspective, just putting it out there now, I'm willing to hear what they're saying. Like I'm here for it. Like it's not like they've been shy about it, because ownership, there's so many aspects to ownership. The transfer market is literally just one of a million things, and they've shown like good focus, good attention. They just haven't got it right. I'm willing to give them time to get it right. That's the
Daniel,
first.
can I ask? So just on the back of that, you're saying they're getting it right, and they're sort of, as you know, they're learning.
I didn't say they're getting it right. I didn't say they.
No, you said they're learning. They're learning to get it right, and of course, it's going to take time. It's never going to happen straight away. But aren't you concerned with the lack of strategy at the moment? Because it's not clear. None of Chelsea's moves or your sort of the way that you're moving in this transfer market shows strategy. It's just sort of, oh, here's an opportunity, here's an opportunity, here's a hijack, here's a player that doesn't want to go to this club, or here's a potential player that's not going to go to another club, and you guys are just trying to get in with all these different deals rather than saying, here's a specific amount of players I want, or here's the positions I want to fill, and I'm going to go for these players first and then go for this. I know the centre backs is a priority, but are you not concerned about that? Like,
I'm not going to disagree, because all fans can do is respond to the news that is given to them. So we're just reacting to the news that we get. What I will say is that the strategy is to buy players in the positions that we need players for. I will agree that maybe in terms of I don't know what's the new word on Twitter, misprofiling or all of that kind of stuff. Like if you think that the profile of players that we're going for are different, that's neither here or there. I think we're linked with a number of quality players that each in their own right would add something different to the squad that we have right now.
So I think what Bowley's doing, sorry, Daniel, because you mentioned it, like from the way he operates in other sports and the way other sports work is a lot of the times it's just go after really good players that the coaches can work with and figure it out from there. He's doing the same thing. He's doing the exact same thing. I don't know if it works in football. I really don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. But what he's doing is he's like, oh, that guy's good. He's available. Can we get him? Oh, that guy's good too. He's available. He's having all these talks. He might need to bring in a good director of football or somebody.
He is. He will.
This is where Michael, God forbid this happens, but this is where Michael Edwards would be perfect for Chelsea, because at the moment, it's not really even organised chaos. It's just chaos at the moment. And Daniel, you alluded to that I'm willing to give him time and that, but if there's one owner you don't really want to take over from, it's Roman Abramovich, because of the success you've had. And the last 20 years, you've been the most successful team. So, and I also feel Chelsea are almost a victim of their own success, because your fan, I've been hearing Chelsea aren't under pressure this season. But however, your fans always expect minimum a trophy per season. So is this really the right time to kind of give them time and relax?
No. What I'll say is, look, fans will be fans and fans will always do what they need to do. We've seen multiple other fan bases be in hysteria, complain at their ownership, complain at their manager, and they still have that same manager for 5 years, 5-6 years. So I'm not bothered. Like, let's remember that owners will do what they think is best for the club, regardless of what the fans say. If we can park that and all agree on that, then we can move forward. There's obviously a lot of points, so I'm just going to try and address them all very, very quickly. Firstly, with Cucurella, I think it will be very good to have someone like him in the squad. I think what's interesting and where you can see a link is that obviously where we were going in for Ake, one of the biggest things or reasons we were going for Ake is because of his versatility. Yes, we had questions, or fans had questions about his ability, his actual ability as a football player, but Tuchel liked the fact that he could play as a centre-back and also play as a left wing-back and play as a left-back. I think with Cucurella, we see the same things where he can also play as a left centre-back and play as a left wing-back. Obviously, there have been questions about his height and all of that kind of stuff, but the questions haven't been as strong as Koundé, and the reason why the questions haven't been as strong is because he's prem-proven, people have seen him week in, week out, and they can say that he's a good player. Then with Bowley, we're talking about bringing in a director of football and all of that kind of stuff. That can only happen after, this is literally his first summer window, and I believe in terms of him heading the transfers, this will be the last window where he's the head of all the transfers, like where he's the one sanctioning everything, where he's the one going into negotiations. I actually believe this will be the last window. If it's not, then we will have this conversation again. But like, we have to give it time. I am willing to give it time. I'm not speaking for the Chelsea fan base, but I am.